Hi everyone, welcome or welcome back to Gavin Reads It All. It is time for the mid-year book Freakout tag, and I have done this almost every year since joining BookTube. I will link all the other ones down below. In fact, this time last year, I filmed my mid-year book Freakout tag. It was the last full video I filmed at my old place. This time last year, I was moving house. And so it's so strange to me that it's already been a year since then. And last June, was a mess and the house was a mess. And I was like, I kind of don't want to do the mid-year book Freakout tag while everything is like this because I didn't have my books because they were all packed up. So it was a bit of a strange one last year. It was a bit of a strange one, but a whole year has passed and it's time to do this tag again. I will link the original creators as well as the original videos down in the description box so you can check them out. I have got a list of all the questions, but I have tweaked it so that they apply more to me. I've taken some questions out that I don't think is relevant to me, and I've added some in also. The questions I've added in, I feel like I've added in for the last couple of years. So if you end up enjoying this video, please leave it a like, subscribe if you haven't already, grab yourself a drink, maybe not a hot drink, it's like actually Satan's arsehole at the minute. It's so hot, but I've got a hot coffee nonetheless. Let's just get straight into the tag. So the first question is one that I added, I believe. I've actually kind of forgotten which ones I've added now after all this time. I just went in the description box of my last video and just copied and pasted them. I think this one I added, how has your reading year gone so far? And my reading year has been pretty good so far. If I was more prepared, I would have had my spreadsheet open. Oh, I have read 106 books. I am currently in the middle of 2. So once they're done, and I think by the time this video goes out, I will have finished them. So we're looking at 108 books so far. That is actually half of what I read the year before. But the year before, in 2024, I was reading full manga series by this point, and I haven't really done that this year. So it's definitely cut my reading in half. And honestly, that's fine. That's absolutely fine. I've been taking a lot more time with my reading, and I think you can tell as well because I haven't been producing as many videos as I usually do. So that's not been ideal, but in terms of reading itself, no, I feel like I've had a pretty good reading year. I'm not forcing myself to do things. I'm not pushing myself beyond my limits, really. I'm getting close, but I'm not pushing myself over the cliff's edge just yet. But I would say overall, I feel more chill with what I'm reading. However, I have been more obligated to read book club books because I've been part of so many book clubs so far this year. Well, not even just book clubs, but like read-alongs. I've been doing a lot of read-alongs this year, which definitely eats up a lot of my time. So that definitely accounts for some of the reading I've been doing. I must say as well, I feel like I've been reading a lot of pages. How many pages have I read so far this year? Okay, I've read 36,875 pages because I have been reading bigger books. And I think that's probably more than this time last year. You know what? Why don't we just check? Again, like I haven't prepared at all. I wrote down the list of questions and what I kind of want to answer with. But stuff like this, where I'm like, oh, like how much have I read? I'm just like, oh, what's going on? So today is June 20th. Let's see how much I'd read by this point last year. Oh, I was reading the Young Adult Book Prize books. Oh, and I just finished the Lion Game books as well. Okay, never mind. I thought maybe I've beaten last year because I haven't been reading as much like manga this year and like doing whole manga series. At 53,321 pages I'd read by this point last year. It's fine. It's fine. As I say, quality over quantity. So getting into the actual mid-year book freakout questions, the first proper question, but question number 2 for us, is what is the best book you read so far in 2025? And so for me, it is Blood Over Brighthaven by M.L. Wang. I read this for a reading blog where this reading blog wasn't allowed to end until I found a 5-star. This was my savior. This was my savior. And you know what? It came at the right time as well because I definitely feel the fantasy overtaking my senses. And I love that I'm getting more into my epic fantasies and just fantasies in general this year. I've been trying to get back into it for a while, but I do think that Blood Over Brighthaven is one of the ones that has really helped me solidify, yes, this is the kind of genre I want to pursue this year. And yeah, so this is a fantastic one. It was my first 5-star of the year. So we follow Skiona and she ends up getting accepted into like this university as a scholar. And she is like in pursuit of like knowledge of magic and things like that. And this is definitely one of those really complex worlds where you kind of have an idea of what's going on, but then it gets like flipped on its head. And I love stories like that because it really kept me on my toes and it kept the magic system and everything really interesting. And characters as well. I genuinely didn't think I would really love the main character or anything like that. And I don't think this is the kind of book where you kind of feel like you have to. Because sometimes I do want to have a main character who I just like love and want to follow and stuff. But I feel like fantasy this year has really opened my eyes to the fact that sometimes we have protagonists who just aren't really 100% good. you know, it's definitely a lot more complex. It's a lot more shades of grey. And I really do love the fact that this book is kind of helping me with the other fantasy books I'm in the middle of right now to kind of get a sense that, oh, I don't have to love the main character in order to love this world and to love this writing and to love this book. So yeah, this was definitely my first 5-star. Really, really loved it. And so thankful to it as well for allowing me to end that vlog when I did. My next question is, what is the best book you've reread so far this year? And I have 3 answers for this. I actually have more rereads that I can answer with rather than best books of the year, because I don't really feel like I have that many best books of the year so far. I'm really trying to find more, but for rereads, one of the best rereads I had this year was for The Hunger Games. I freaking love The Hunger Games. So I reread the first 4 books. So Hunger Games, Catching Fire, Mockingjay, and The Ballad of Songbirds and Snakes. And I did a whole reading vlog for it, filled with spoilers. And honestly, it was the best. It was honestly the best time going through it and just rekindling my love for it, because it was such a huge part of my life when I was a teenager. And so, yeah, just absolutely wonderful. Still holds up to this day. So engrossing, so good. Catching Fire is my favorite one of the series. And that one is like the only 5-star in the series for me. The other ones are like very close to being 5-star, but Catching Fire is just, oh, leaps and bounds my favorite. But I'm holding this one up because I can't be bothered to go for my like nice additions on the top there. And also I feel like this is such an iconic cover anyway, so you get what I mean. I have 2 Stephen King books that I reread this year that are both still 5 stars. So Pet Sematary is my favorite Stephen King book of all time, and I was worried that it wouldn't be my #1 favorite after a reread. But honestly, this, when I got a chance to talk about it filled with spoilers in my Gavin Reads All the King episode 4, I believe it was, it just reassured me of all the reasons why this is my favorite. And it's so good, so emotional, so dark, and definitely one of my favorite reading experiences of this year, even though it was a reread. Same with Misery. This one was another 5-star that I gave Stephen King years and years and years ago when I first read this. And again, on a reread, I was just so relieved that it was still a 5-star. Because, you know, you just, in the back of your mind, you think, oh, have I kind of grown out of something? Or if I reread it, will I not love it as much as the first time? Because we don't have those first-time goggles on as we're reading a book. And sometimes the excitement of something that's fresh and new to you can definitely help enhance a reading experience. But you know, sometimes rereads make them even better. You just never know. You never know which way it's going to go. So fortunately for Misery, still a 5-star. Oh, and of course, I've reread The Lord of the Rings, which I also reread last year, and it was also my best reread of last year. So I'm not going to go too much into Lord of the Rings or anything, but still one of my absolute favorites. And I was so happy to be part of the Middle-earth along that Aaron from Booked and Busy was hosting. So that was just even better. But we are going to move swiftly on. The next question is another new one. Is what is the best manga you've read so far in 2025? So I do have a separate manga channel called Gavin Reads All the Manga. I am trying so hard to try and film new videos for it. It's just been so hard recently. But some of the videos that I have been filming this year was catching up with Witch Hat Atelier. And honestly, the way this story goes is just so incredibly magical and so inventive and imaginative. And I didn't think it would go to these places, because when you first start reading Witch Hat Atelier, you think, oh, this is going to be nice and cozy and lovely. Oh no, it gets batshit. It gets so batshit. And I just freaking loved binging. I think it was volume 7 through 13 that I read this year. I started reading them last year, the end of last year, for like new content for my manga channel. And then at the very start of this year was when I caught up with Witch Hat Atelier. And oh god, I love everything about it. Love the characters so much. I love Coco. I love Kifri. I love Arugio. Oh my god, there's just so many. There's so many, and the storylines are just so epic and amazing. Cannot wait to read more of this. I don't know when volume 14 is out, but I will be there on day 1 at Forbidden Planet, being like, hey, let me in. I want to get this new volume. So yeah. And another one, which is kind of like a bit of a surprise one, is Eden of Witches, volume 1. I had never heard of this before, and I randomly saw it. I think it was on Sci-Fi, and I was like, oh, I love witches, let's go for it. This one imbues like nature with magic, and this is a society where witches are kind of like hidden themselves away from humankind, because humankind has desolated the planet, and so witches are like trying to protect nature and stuff like that. And our main character is like forced to go on a journey because, you know, exciting things happen in the first couple of chapters, and it's just so epic already. And I was like, oh my gosh, like I'd never heard of this before. It's so like understated. It's so fucking hot in this room. And yeah, I want everyone to give it a go. I have volumes 2 and 3 ready to go, and I'm just so excited to continue. Just a lovely, lovely surprise, and definitely one of the best ones I've read so far. So you can kind of see a pattern here. Eden of Witches, Witch Hard Talia. I just love things to do with witches. The next question is, what is the best sequel you've read so far in 2025? And so far it has been Call's a Doomsday Scenario by Matt Dinniman. I do have book 3 ready to go. I freaking love the Dungeon Chronicle series so much. And book 2 wasn't as good as book 1 in my opinion, but this definitely helped you to transition from that very first book. The first book felt like a tutorial level. It was introducing you to the world. This one was showing you more of that world, as well as developing those characters. So Princess Donna, for instance, oh, God love her. I loved her in the first book, don't get me wrong, but she could get very annoying and very selfish. But in this book, she has such great character development. And I didn't think a talking cat would be someone I would say would have amazing character development, but she does. And I love her. And I love Carl as well. I just love their chemistry together. This book, it does have some exciting moments. You still get some of those battle sequences. You get to see them leveling up. You get to see more of the, you know, really creative parts of this world, going on like little side quests and stuff. Oh, it fills me with joy. It really does. It fills me with joy. So funny. Audiobook for this is, again, fantastic. Definitely the best way to read the Dungeon Crawler Call series is audiobook and physical at the same time, if you can. If not, then just have yourself away at the audiobook. I know these books can get quite expensive, but Sci-Fi, if you want Sci-Fi, use my discount code GAVGAV, get 5% off. Not sponsored, by the way, it's just a discount code, but it's already like the cheapest on there anyway, so I would definitely recommend trying out Sci-Fi if you think the physical books are a little bit too expensive. But yeah, honestly, so excited to continue. Question number 6 is, what's a new release you haven't read yet but want to? I honestly struggle with these questions because I never know what's coming, honestly, but I have seen some recently online, especially on Instagram with all the people I follow. Atmosphere by Taylor Jenkins Reid has been one that a lot of people have been hyping at the minute, saying that it's made them very emotional. So I would like to try that, absolutely. I still have Carrie Soto Is Back on my shelves, so I should probably read that first before trying another Taylor Jenkins Reid, because she can be hit or miss for me. Or I can say if my library has it, you know? I imagine lots of people will have holds on it, absolutely. But I still have other avenues where I don't have to like buy another Taylor Jenkins Reid book if I don't think it's something that I would want to keep. Another one I've seen a lot of recently is The Night and the Moth by Rachel Gillig. I've seen a lot of people read it and give it good reviews, and it sounds like something I would enjoy, especially after I recently loved the first Crowns of Nyaxia book by Carissa Broadbent. I was so surprised by like how much I ended up loving that one that I gave it 5 stars. It's still not... It's my favorite book of the year so far. I only mentioned Blood Over Brighthaven, but I read the second book in Crowns of Nyaxia and I didn't love it as much, and that's kind of soured it a little bit for me. But I still have another like 6 months before I do my best books of the year, so there's still time. There's still time. But anyway, that was a tangent. I do think I might end up enjoying The Night and the Moth just because I feel like I'm getting more into that genre. And yeah, I've been a lot more open-minded, a lot more, you know, nicer, I guess, with things. Another one is Art Infinite Fates by Laura Stephen. I have the ARC copy on my shelves. In fact, I was supposed to get it off and I forgot. Where is it? Yeah, I have this ARC copy that I've had before it came out, like months and months and months before it came out, and I still haven't got to it. Like, I feel so bad. I feel so bad, and people have been talking about how much they've been enjoying this one too. So I need to get on it. Yeah, it came out 27th of February, and yeah, I still haven't read it. So I guess that would be counted towards a new release I still haven't got to. The next question is, what is your most anticipated read of the second half of the year? So books that aren't out yet. Again, I never really keep up to date with new things that are coming out, but one that I have seen is We Love You Bunny by Mona Award. I really did love the first book, Bunny, and I will give it a reread before I continue on. It's been, I think, 3 years since I read it, and I would love to see if it still holds up, but it just looks good, okay? It looks good. And then another one is Brimstone by Callie Hart. I really enjoyed Quicksilver, and I think I will continue that series and enjoy it. So, although I don't like the new cover, I really don't like the new covers. They've re-released the first one in this cover style as well, and I really don't like it. Which, again, like, I'm not going to judge a book by its cover. If I could, I'll borrow it from my library. I don't know if my library stocks that book, or even the first book. I don't know if that's something they do, but I would rather do that than buy that cover. I'm just saying. I need a book box to release them and give them the covers that they deserve. Question number 8 is, what is the worst book you've read so far in 2025? I have 3 answers for this one. One of them is unfortunately a pretty hyped book and I DNF'd it, and that is The Devils by Joe Abercrombie. I donated my Broken Binding edition to my library. This one is getting donated to one of my patrons who I will be meeting in Norway. But I DNF'd this because I really, really didn't like the humour. I don't think I really like Joe Abercrombie's writing style, but who knows, maybe if I try the first Law series, I might enjoy that more. But I just thought there was way too much humour and not enough of, because it tried to be serious. It tried to have that darker element to it. And I just didn't think it blended well because the humor was just too overpowering and just like ruined any kind of suspense and tension that I was feeling. I also was bored out of my mind. I was so bored. And I didn't even think the plot of this was all that creative anyway. Like, I could literally go into any bookstore, pick up any book, and it would have pretty much the same plot as The Devils. I'm just saying. So I wasn't going to waste my time. I did get pretty far in. Now I can't remember. Was it like 234 pages? I got pretty far in, if you ask me. And I just didn't like it. I just really didn't like it. We weren't getting along, unfortunately. Another one is The Talisman by Stephen King and Peter Straub. I read this one for episode 4 of Gavin Reads All the King, and I, again, was bored to fucking tears. There was no need for this to be nearly 1,000 pages long, and there was definitely a bright moment in this story that I really, really liked. A certain character came into it, and I was really liking the storyline at that point, and then I realized you could have taken that section out, like my favorite section out, and it wouldn't have impacted the story whatsoever. This book, to me, felt like a mess. It was majorly boring, and it had a wrap-up that was a little bit too easy, in my opinion. And unfortunately, there is a sequel to this I'm going to have to get to for my Gavin Reads All the King series. And I just didn't really like it. There was like one character I liked, and that was pretty much it. It was just so unsatisfying, and I just had the worst time reading it, really. Like, I struggled with this one so much, and I forced myself through it so that I could finish it, because I'm not allowed to DNF any Stephen King books for my series. I had to read them all the way through, but this got me so close to just sacking that rule and just DNFing it and just not continuing. But I had to do it. There is a sequel I need to read, so I was like, okay, I might as well finish it. And I honestly regret that decision. I really do. And then the last one is The Magic Toy Shop by Angela Carter. This was one of the first books I read this year because it was in my 24 books to read in 2024. So I did a reading vlog at the start of the year to catch up on those books. And yeah, The Magic Toy Shop, I was so disappointed by it because it sounded right up my street. Sounded like a really good gothic classic that could be quite creepy and scary. But this was just uncomfortable. There was just too many uncomfortable things about it. There was too much like grossness to it. There was like family abuse, sexual abuse, and it was just depressing me. And I was like, this is not how I want to start my year. And so I had to finish it, which I did. I finished it, but like, I just didn't enjoy a single part of it. There were some lovely passages, and I'm not going to say that Angela Carter was not a good writer, because I do think that this was written well. I just hated it. I hated every moment of it. And I keep forgetting to freaking unhaul it as well. So I need to remember that next time. The next question is, what is your biggest disappointment of the year so far? So there is a graphic novel that I read called North Ranger that I have already unhauled, but I was very excited about it because it was supposed to be like an LGBTQ plus modern day Northanger Abbey retelling in a way. And while I could definitely see those inspirations, I didn't really like the book all that much. And this is probably going to be a recurring theme for the books I didn't like this year. I was just mostly bored by it. And I didn't really feel a connection with the like love interest either. And that again felt like a story that was just a little bit messy. So I didn't really like North Ranger. I was kind of disappointed because I was so excited to read it. Another one, this is not a bad book. Do not get me wrong. This is not a bad book. I still liked it. I gave it 3.5 stars. But I was expecting to give Sunrise on the Reaping by Suzanne Collins a 5-star. I was expecting that. And that was my unrealistic expectations 100%. And while I do love the majority of this book, some of it did feel a little bit fan servicey. And some of it felt like we were forcing, fan favorites into this story just because they're fan favorites. And so people would freak out if you see them. And I'll not say who those people are, but obviously, like, this is a prequel to the Hunger Games series. We follow Haymitch, and that is really good. But then we did get like a lot of repetition too, that we kind of already know what happens with his games because we saw what happens in those games in Catching Fire. There's a whole section telling you exactly what happens in Haymitch's games. And while there were some things that were changed a little bit, like things that we didn't get to see, and it kind of leans into the idea that the capital really does dictate what you see. That was interesting, don't get me wrong, but the majority of it we've already seen. And so I would have loved it if we kind of approached this in a different way, that we didn't really have the main chunk of this be the Hunger Games, but to actually maybe start the story towards the end of Haymitch's games and then show us what happened to him afterwards, because honestly the last like couple of chapters of this blew my mind. Like, they were so awful in like a really good way, but like really emotionally devastating. And I would have loved to have seen a little bit more of that. I would love to have seen Haymitch's journey after the games and like how we got to the Haymitch that we know and love today. So yeah, I just feel like there was like some missed opportunities, some fan service, and it just didn't feel like a 5-star to me, unfortunately. But it was still a good story, and I'm still glad I read it. But I do have that little twang of disappointment. Just a little bit. What is the biggest surprise of the year for you so far? And honestly, it's A Hero Born by Jin Young. I keep thinking about this and I keep mentioning it. I keep saying about this, but this book was so good. I took it to China with me and I read it all while I was in China. So it really did help enhance the reading experience of this, but this is the first book in the Legend of the Condor Hero series, and there's just like so many little things going on. We mainly have the 7 heroes of the South trying to find these 2 sons of 2 warriors, and you can kind of see them training. There's just loads of little different storylines going on as well. There's a really good one with Copper Corpse and Iron Corpse, and the fights are fantastic in this too. I thought the fights would put me off, but they are so well described. They are so exciting. We started getting into a little bit of soap opera drama by the end as well, which I was kind of really excited by. And so yeah, I am waiting for the Broken Binding to release books 2 through 4 of this so I can get those copies and continue my collection. I think they're going to do more. They better do more. But I actually talk about this more in my first episode of Our Fantasy Bingo, which should be coming after this video, so I'll not talk too much about it, but I have been so surprised by it because I just keep thinking about it. Oh, another one is For the Fans. I can't remember the name of the author, but I read that one. I was kind of thinking, okay, this will be a silly time because it is stepbrother romance, and I was actually pleasantly surprised by it. Like, I thought it was pretty hot, and I didn't think I would enjoy it as much as I actually ended up enjoying it. It was just a frolicking good time. And then another one, like the last book that I was pleasantly surprised by was When the Wolf Comes Home by Nat Cassidy. I read this one for the booktube, and my history with the booktube is that I usually dislike the books I end up reading for it. But this one I actually really enjoyed. It had a really gripping story that kind of took different turns that I wasn't expecting. So it maybe was a little bit predictable, but I think because this one had quite a bit of gore and quite a lot of running as well, like you get to see different set pieces, you get to see different places, and so that opens up so many avenues for different storyline potential things happening. And yeah, definitely something happened that I definitely wasn't expecting that kind of changed the genre of this story. And so I appreciate Nat Cassidy for having the creativity of thinking a little bit outside the box and like, okay, how am I going to take this in a different direction? I'm sure a lot of people hate the direction it goes in. I can definitely see why, but I liked it. I liked that direction. And you know what? I'm just so glad to have a booktube book that I really did end up liking. Next question is, who is your favorite new author, either new to you or debut? And Emma Wang is definitely up there. Definitely, I would grab it, but it's at the bottom of there. Blood Over Brighton was, again, like my first 5-star of the year. I really do want to read The Sword of Kaigen. I really do want to read that one. I will pick it up at some point. Abso-freaking-lutely. Just absolutely love the writing style. Love the world building. Also, Kylie Leigh Baker. So Bad Eater, I gave a 4.5. It is probably going to end up on my favorite books of the year. But not because this is my favorite book of the year or anything, but because I freaking love the writing style. It was definitely unsettling. There was a lot of description that really made me feel like I was part of the scene. And it made me believe that maybe Kylie Leigh Baker was a crime scene investigator because the way she described it was just a little bit too good, you know? So I really felt like I was part of the story, and I just loved how it was written. So I definitely think Kylie Leigh Baker is going to be one to watch out for me personally. I do have The Scarlet Alchemist, which I know is a totally different genre to this, I believe. But in terms of horror, I think this was actually fantastic. And I love the atmosphere that she built. Honestly, just absolutely wonderful. What book has made you cry so far this year? Okay, Sunrise on the Reaping did make me cry, but I came close. I definitely came close. The last wrap up of this book, the last few chapters were devastating. They were genuinely devastating. It does take a lot for me to cry though. Sometimes I don't cry just from like reading words. And I can picture these stories in my head when I'm reading. I picture them as like movies in my head. But like even then, it really does take a lot to make me cry. So it did get me close. Another one that got me very close was The Magic Fish by Trung Le Nguyen. And this was one that I gave 5 stars. It's going to be my best books of the year. Absolutely. This is LGBTQ plus graphic novel and just exploring those themes of being gay and, you know, family and how they might react to it. It's definitely something that hits close to home. Happy Pride Month, by the way. It's only the 20th of June. It's almost over, but still, there was something so genuinely sweet at the end of this book that just got me so emotional. And I was reading this in my gym and I was trying so hard to keep it in because I was like, no, I need to appear macho. I need to appear like a straight man, otherwise I'll be caught. We have What is the most beautiful book you bought so far this year? I think the Dungeon Crawler Call books are some of the most beautiful. I just love how they all look on the spine. Pretty much all of them are there. Book 2 is in my stack. But like, I freaking love those. I love the way they look. But other than that, I do love the Malazan books that the Broken Binding released. I think these are absolutely gorgeous. I have books 2 and 3 on the shelves. But yeah, definitely these ones. I feel like any kind of book box, when they do a book series, they always make them look absolutely gorgeous. And so the Broken Binding, I think, are one of the absolute best at releasing gorgeous books. So yeah, we've got this one. And also the Arc of the Side series by Neil Shusterman. The Illumicrate editions are absolutely gorgeous. I had to go for them. And I have the other books on the shelf also. But yeah, very, very beautiful. Next question is, what are the books that you need to get to by the end of the year? I kind of don't really have a great idea of all of the books I want to get to, really. But I do have some upcoming projects where I need to read books for. So like the next 2 episodes of Gavin Reads All the King, I do need to read Night Shift and Different Seasons for the next episode because I'm starting these short story collections. So I'm doing 2 in that episode and I can't wait. But then the episode after that, I will be reading The Dark Half, Gerald's Game, which will be a reread, Dolores Claiborne, which will be a reread, and Needful Things. So I'm very excited for these 6 Stephen King books I need to read by the end of the year. I might only do 2 more episodes of Stephen King videos this year. Episode 5 took everything out of me because I read It for the first time and The Tommyknockers, which almost made my worst books of the year, which it might make my worst books of the year, but I didn't want to talk about it in this video, honestly. But that episode took everything out of me, so I kind of want to slow down with those and just kind of reinvigorate my love for Stephen King books. Other than that, I do want to do way more fantasy books for my Art Fantasy Bingo series. I am going line by line for that, and again, the first episode will be out soon. I cannot wait. So there will be massive fantasy books on my shelves where I'll want to read them. Maybe Malazan, even though I want to do a separate video and talk spoilers about it. The Discworld series as well, I really want to get to very, very soon. Maybe by July, because I do want to enter the Discworld for the first time and do complete series vlog for it, but like split it into parts. So I'm going to read the first 4 books for the first episode and talk about them spoiler filled. So that's going to be really exciting. Those are the books that I'm definitely going to be reading soon. Also, my vlogs of Halloween books as well. So there's definitely going to be some books that I need to read for those vlogs. So some more added questions. Question 15, what is your favorite video that you've made so far this year? I am very proud of my Imposter Task videos. I've only done 2 so far this year, episode 3 and episode 4, and I do want to pick up the pace with that one. There have been a couple of setbacks, but I am just kind of focusing on just getting some more episodes done so that I can actually tackle my own TBR, because I'm just finding it so much fun. And I'm definitely, especially after going through my book haul videos and reacting to them and getting my read versus unread, it's been the biggest wake-up call this year as well. So I'm definitely prioritizing all the books that I own, and Imposter Task really, really does help me with that. My library challenge series, I have been absolutely loving doing this year. I have episodes 1 and 2 out so far, and being able to incorporate my booktube friends and get them to give me challenges and prompts has just been the best. Like, it's made it so much more fun than last year. It's been an absolute godsend. So like, thank you so much to the 6 people I've asked so far. We have 6 more of my friends coming up, and I cannot wait to do episode 3 and 4. One of the best decisions I made was to split them into 4 parts rather than 3, so I can cover 3 months. And it just feels good that way to me. It just feels right. And I am especially proud of episode 2 because I was going to a brand new library for every month. Libraries I've never been to before. So I really enjoyed doing that. And also randomly, the 24-hour reading vlog that I did, where I stayed up from like midnight to midnight and did that 24-hour reading vlog, I love that so much. Like, it made me feel like a kid again. Like, just staying up all night reading and like staying up all day reading, it just felt great to me. And I know it's like not the most feasible, like it's not great for your health and stuff like that, but like, come on, every once in a while it'll be great. So I do want to do another 24-hour reading vlog because I really did love doing that one. But yeah, it might take a little while because I have literally just been up for a long time filming a Halloween video just earlier this week. That kind of took it out of me. I'm not as young as I used to be. The next question is, which video do you think would flop but did well? My reaction to how many books I've read versus unread, I thought, oh yeah, it'll be fine. Like, it'll do okay. It'll get like 10,000 views or something. It's actually done really well. It's done better than Imposter Toss or anything like that. Like, I'm surprised by how many people ended up watching that and commenting on that and reacting to that. So that was a surprise, but a pleasant surprise. But honestly, I feel like I've been very stable this year. I haven't had a video take off, but I haven't really had videos like really underperform. It's been a very stable year, and that's the best I can hope for. And honestly, I'm so thankful for that. I would rather it be stable than going down, but we will see. We will see what the years bring. Next question is, any upcoming videos are excited to make? So I've already filmed 3 of my vlogs of Halloween videos by this point, and I am already just like over the moon with how they've been turning out. And I really do think, like, I don't want to blow my own trumpet, but I really do think this will be the best year yet. And I hope it will be the biggest and best year yet for you guys, because, oh my gosh, oh, the one I filmed earlier this week, oh, I can't wait to edit it. I'm trying so hard to find some time to edit so I can get the videos out for early access. One of the videos is already out for early access for my Patreon, and it's had some good feedback so far. And you will have seen in my Imposter Toss video that it was the Jamaica Inn vlog. So I've done that one, and I'm so proud of it. But the one I've done this week, which you'll find out in an upcoming month in my life video, because I've been filming that as I've been filming all month long. And the thing I filmed this week was so, I loved filming it so much. I just hope it turns out good. in editing. I'm sure it will. I'm sure it will. Other than that, I am, again, very excited to get my Our Fantasy Bingo series started. First episode should be after this video. I mean, not right after this video, a few days after this video. And also, I am excited to start Discworld. So that's another series I just mentioned. Very, very excited to start that series too. I'm wondering, should I get the illustrator who I get for my Stephen King videos? Should I get illustrated thumbnails for the Discworld series, or should I just do normal thumbnails? We'll see, we'll see. And I am also very excited to get back into making manga videos for my Gavin Reads All the Manga channel. I'm hoping upon hope that my life calms down just a little bit and I will have more time for that. And I'm sure it will. And then finally, any channel goals to end the year. Honestly, I just hope that I keep growing and I hope that I can keep entertaining people with my upcoming videos and just have the most fun with the content I'm making. And as I said, I recently did a live show with Brian from BellTube. We did a live show together. I will link that down below if you missed it. But I did say, I don't want to make videos that I'm not excited to make. And that unfortunately rules out a lot of videos. Like, I would love to do more sit-down videos to really help with my workload, but I love the vlogs. I love creating projects. I love doing vlogs of Halloween, stuff like that. So it's really hard because I can't do those all year round. I do have to break things up a bit in order to be able to do those bigger videos, but I just hope that everything I do make, I still continue to love making. And that is like the most important thing, is that if I feel like I'm still loving what I'm doing, then hopefully that will show and you guys will love watching it. Hopefully, fingers crossed. So I really do hope like Vlogs of Halloween 2025 is like the best year. Yeah, I'm really hoping so. I've put so much work and so much money into it, and I can't wait to see how it all turns out genuinely. And yeah, it would also be wonderful as well, because if you've seen, I have been nominated for the Best Book Creator of the Year for the Big Creator Awards 2025, which is a huge deal. It's massive. Like, thank you so much for everyone who nominated me for that. You can vote as well if you want to vote. I will leave a link down below if you want to vote. You don't have to. You don't have to. But oh my God, it would be so amazing to even like win that. I don't think I will, but like to even be nominated and to even be able to go to the ceremony and just to see all that happen as well. Like, oh my gosh, like what an honor, like what an absolute honor to be nominated for the best, what is it again? The Best Big Creator Book Content Creator of the Year, or something like that. I should know it. I should know it because like I'm just so excited and so proud of that. So that's something that really has enhanced and reinvigorated me this year as well. Like, what motivation, you know, to feel like I've been appreciated somewhere. And so just being nominated for that has just been absolutely incredible. But yeah, I will leave a link down to that below if you haven't voted yet. And yeah, I guess that's the mid-year book freakout tag. I hope I did okay. Let me know down below if there are any questions that you kind of like to see maybe added to this tag. I might try and add them to the next book tag video next year, or I might try and answer some below as well. Just let me know. But that's the end of the video. Thank you so much for watching. I really appreciate it. Don't forget to leave this video a like if you enjoyed, and subscribe if you haven't already. Leave all the comments down below. Let me know what you thought of the video. Let me know what your favorite books of the year have been so far. Let me know what your least favorite books of the year have been so far. In fact, why don't you just answer all the questions down below? I would love to see your answers. I want to give a huge thank you to my patrons for supporting my channel. If you'd like to join my Patreon, then the link is in the description box. But yeah, I hope I will see you in the next video. Bye.